and we are in Iceland. Just got to the Airbnb. We are staying about 20 minutes south of Reykjavik. Just got over from Kef Airport, flew in from Luton this morning. Not the greatest airport, Luton, to be honest, out of the 5 London airports, but you know, it will do. About to head into the centre of Reykjavik now to get some dinner, do a little bit of exploring, try and, you know, utilise the rest of the day we've got before having our first full day tomorrow. And we are in the centre of Reykjavik. Just heading out, having a roam about, seeing what we can find. Trying to do a bit of sightseeing while we're here. We did try and do a little bit of research before coming out. But a lot of the great sites, to be honest, seemed a bit like really far out from each other. So we're going to visit supposedly the biggest church in Iceland, which is located in the centre of Reykjavik. Really, until you're standing right next to this church, it doesn't, the size, I don't think the camera actually does justice on how big this place actually is. There is in the background, truly one of the biggest churches I've ever seen in my life. Can be seen from all around the centre of Reykjavik, to be fair. Everywhere you look around the town you can just see it. Loads of great little monuments around as well. Really worth visiting if you're coming out here, because the camera really doesn't do it justice just how big it actually is. Just walking around the centre of Reykjavik, it's just unreal. Like, there's no style to the buildings. Everything's just different. This whole streetscape is just different. Where you go to a lot of cities, especially in the UK, and you know, you have to kind of stick to the same sort of kind of type of building, really. But around here, it's just nope. Do what they want when they want. Can always trust, no matter what country you go into, near enough anywhere in the world, there is an Irish bar. A lot of tattoo parlours here as well. So we're just heading towards where there's probably one of the best backdrops I've ever seen. The place so far just has so many picturesque kind of postcard kind of moments. But if you plan to come here in November, be prepared to wrap it warm, because it's a different type of cold. It really is. We got fleeces, big coats on, and it's still getting through. It's not every day you get to the local city centre and you just walk to the edge of town and this is your view. The air is just crystal clear. Not one dodgy seagull in sight. Fantastic. At this view in the background, near enough the whole city centre is kind of encased just by this lakeside. If you look, there's your main city centre there, and it's all just encased by this lakeside mountain sort of view. Just crazy. Probably like the best looking seafront I've ever seen, except there are no seagulls or fish and chips, sadly. Not even any of them dodgy donuts you might get at Blackpool. just having a stroll through Reykjavik, and we've managed to stumble across some old school kind of ships and one very big Coast Guard ship. But it's kind of cool to see because you rarely see in some city centres just, you know, old school Black Pearl-esque fishing vessels just there. But it's just really cool to see. Reykjavik itself, the city centre, seems quite big. So you know, if you're going to be walking around the city centre, I would just allow a good few hours. We chose to stay out of the centre because we wanted to get a good view of Northern Lights, and where we're actually staying on the ranch where we are, there's actually a great view apparently where it comes over the mountains. So hopefully either tonight or tomorrow we'll get a good view of those. But when you're in the city centre, I suppose there's more things to do in terms of bars, restaurants and things like this. But it seems like a lot of the major fun activities, for instance quad biking, the whale watching and things like this, you know, are all quite far out. But so I would definitely suggest getting a car if you can. Down by the harbour area there's quite a few cool little fish and chip shops, lobster restaurants, so you'd like to hope that it's all fresh stuff. One thing is a must when I say if you're down in Reykjavik is definitely get down to the port in the city centre, because you've literally got all your ships in the background. You've got all your restaurants, your bars, which are actually quite cool, all seem to be selling fresh stuff. And then just on the adjacent side you've got all your mountain backdrop views. It's just you turn left you see one thing, you turn right you see another. It's just amazing to see. So as we just travelled here today, we just thought we'd take it upon ourselves just to explore and just see what's about. Hit up a few sites that we know of, and but just mainly explore really. And just depending on where you are, you could go left and you'll be at a port somewhere. Then you know, before you know it, you're on what seems to be like an old school council estate from the 80s. Parts of it are very built up, parts of it I've seen very stuck in the past. But so far, Reykjavik seems like a lovely place where the people just seem sound. There's not certain places you go, mainly certain cities, people just seem rude, but here everyone just seems nice and polite so far. Just found a local convenience store that does what I think is some of the nicest pizza I've ever had. Sabaro's Pizza, based out in New York, but they've got them all over the world now. It's kind of a decent franchise, but let's grab some. If you know, you know. Definitely worth getting a Sabaro's. Every time I get one, no matter where I can find one, always hits a spot, and you can buy it by the slice. One thing Reykjavik isn't short of is themed pubs in its town centre. we've just walked past, within 30 seconds of each other, an Irish bar, an English pub and an American pub, all within about 30 seconds of each other now. I'm sure they're all great, but if that doesn't sound like the start of a really bad dad joke, then I don't know what does. While Reykjavik is a beautiful place in the centre at night time, just lit up beyond belief, and it's really, really nice. One thing you wouldn't be scared of is a bar or a pub. They're just everywhere. Every third shop is just some sort of themed bar, pub, or just somewhere to have a good drink. So you can understand why people like to flock here, just to have a good time. But you wouldn't be short of a drink if you're coming to Reykjavik. Mind you, I'd have your dollars ready, because it ain't the cheapest.